discovered fluid art, I was like, wow, this is so cool. This is about letting it go. It doesn't matter really, like whether it doesn't look like a tree or it doesn't look like a house, because it's an abstract painting. So the important thing in fluid art is really to be mindful with the consistency of your paints and to really be mindful with the colors that you use. So that is something that I always talk about, and the way that I try to use my color wheel when I am going to create a new piece of art, and I decided to use, for example, in this case, my violet, and I decided to be on a blue, and this kind of like a purple, and this kind of like a turquoise, and they are in a good, the same cool area, so there's no danger of creating a mood paint, right? So that's the only thing that I really need to worry about in fluid art, and that is so relaxing to me. So I hope with my channel I can show you that, and then you are here because you want to have fun. Of course you want to learn how to paint or do different techniques, but the intention is really to have fun. So today I'm going to do a painting that I have never done before, so bear with me. I'm just testing this formula that I saw and I want to try it. So this is a cloud pour that I'm going to use a funnel for that, and it's based, so it consists on a base paint that is not the house paint that we use for the bloom. It is really regular paint with Floetrol. I'm going to use a lacing mix. I'm going to use some colors that are prepared with paint and Floetrol, and I'm going to use the cloud mix. Basically, that's what I'm going to use. So let's see what happens. So stay with me to the end. And don't forget, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe so you can get some of my new videos. And as I said, let's have fun together. Okay? So first I'm going to use my base paint, that it was basically regular, actually cheap paint. It can be the student grade from Artist Love, from Hobby Lobby, any of the cheap paint with 3 parts of Floetrol. That's what we have here. So I'm going to add my base paint. I'm going to try to break the bubbles a little bit, and then I'm going to spin it only to move the paint around. It's not, a lot of people uses kind of like the paint in the middle for this technique. I learned that I could use it, spread it actually, and actually I'm going to get rid of the extra paint here, and I'm going to move the rest with only spinning it. Only to be sure that everything is covered. I don't need too much. I'm only being sure that there is covered. Remember that I like always to use this extra paint that we have here to wet the sides of my canvas, so we can reuse that paint that we have here. And I have these silicone mats at the bottom because I like to reuse paint. Either I can reuse it directly from the mat, or I can let it dry and it becomes like a skin, painted skin that we can use for jewelry or for to do like abstract paints or collages or whatever. Okay, so that's the first step, is my base paint. That again is not the regular pillow paste paint that is used for the bloom technique. It's really a base paint. Then I'm going to add my funnel here. I will try to get everything in the middle. I'm going to open everything so I can easily move around. So this is some lacing. I'm going to try to be in the middle of my canvas. All of them are in the cool size, so I don't have any problem that it can get muddy. And then the interesting thing is to add the cloud mix, or actually this, we add it from the top. It goes directly to the center. And then I'm going to release my paint, kind of like jumping, to make a cool effect. And then carefully. Okay, I need to leave it there for some minutes so the paint starts like going up and it creates the effect that we want. So I'm going to do this with the funnel, and I'm going to do another one without the funnel in the cup. So let's see the difference. I'm going to let it do its magic without torching it. I only torch it at the bottom Look how the paint is starting to go up. It's really interesting. Look how the cells start forming, the colors start popping. In the meantime, I can tell you, I prepared this. Was the base paint with cheap paint and three parts of Floetrol. The cloud mix is prepared with 3 parts of Floetrol, 1 part of satin enamel, and 1 part of Artist Love. This is prepared with 2 parts of paint. This needs to be opaque paint. Amsterdam is better because it holds a lot of the color, the pigment. 1 part of water and 1 part of Floetrol. And my paints are 1 part of paint, 3 parts of Floetrol. Do a little bit of touching, not too close. Nice. I'm going to recenter it. Look at the colors. It looks really nice. I'll let it a little bit more. I am spinning it slowly. I'm not going too fast. I am centering my composition. Look at these cells. Wow, went a little bit fast. I'm going to make another one with the open cup. Or actually, I can do like a dirty pour, but I prefer to close it. Look how cool this looks. I like how the colors here and there. This is really cool. Look at the colors here. Looks like a galaxy. I am trying to see if I can get some color out of this purple here. It looks that it's not, but it doesn't matter. People always ask me, when do you need to stop spinning? When the center doesn't move anymore. So, and the idea is for you to let the paint leave your canvas without losing your composition, but that is kind of it's kind of layered, it's kind of like flat, let's say, so it doesn't crack, because if it is too thick in the center and then too thin on at the outside, it's going to crack. And you will not like that. Trust me, I have gone through that already. I really like it. It's really cool. It looks like a planet or something to me here. Okay, so this was my experiment. It's not bad to be the first one. So let's try it without the funnel. Let's try it directly on the canvas. Okay, so now let's go to the second part, the second try. So this time we are going to use a cup. So we are going to do like a dirty pour. So I'm going to use again my paint. Remember, this is a base paint. This is not a house paint. That is not a pillow paint. It's a base paint that was prepared with cheap paint, student grade, and Floetrol. This is only to make it easier. Let's add a little bit more. I normally try to wet my sides to let the paint run easily. I'm going to use some of this paint that was here from where I spin too fast. Don't worry, it's a little bit grayish because it's going to be covered. I'm trying to see that the paint flows in the whole canvas. I see here is still a little bit of paint missing, so I'm going to add a little bit in this corner here. Perfect. And then I'm going to do the same that I did, but now I'm going to go directly into a cup. So I'm going to do a little bit of this, and then I'm going to add this blue. I'm going to add some of this blue. I'm going to add some of this purple. I'm going to add some of this dark purple. I'm going to add some of this turquoise. I'm going to add a little bit more of this dark purple. And at the end, I'm going to do the same with this cloud mix from the top. So the paint kind of like get into the colors, okay? So I have like that, and now I'm going to like a ring pour. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to wait to see how they touch it a little bit here and there. Look, this is a different effect. but it's looking really cool. And as a reminder, this is a collaboration with my dear friend Nate Bright. I met him last year at the Fluid Art Convention in Dallas, Texas. I'm going again. Unfortunately, Nate will not be there, but um, I'm going to be meeting with some other artists. I love the work that some of them do, and I want to learn more about those. It's always really cool learning from people that have more experience than you do, right? It's like we are always learning. In my personal career, in my professional career, in my life, I always like to learn. You never stop learning, honestly. I remember that my mom used to make fun of me because she used to tell me that I was going to be like an inventory of my school, my college, in my college years, because as soon as I graduated from college, I immediately join kind of like a specialty and then my master's degree. And I have always been getting better prepared and better informed, not only in my career, but also now in my painting. So I always like to look for other artists. When I am painting, I am watching some videos here in my little iPad. And it's really cool to learn. Look, how cool is that? So let's start. I like the colors. One thing that I did a little bit different because I noticed that the other got a little bit dark in the middle. So instead of starting with the dark purple, I started with the blue. So that helped me to bright a little bit the paint instead of like having a dark color, because I had the lacing mix that is black together with the purple. So I think it was a little bit of dark there. But hey, we learn experimenting. So, and the more you do, the more you will get the better results. So there's nothing wrong with that. And look at this beauty. Oh my goodness. I love it. If I want to keep this down or I want to move it to the center. Let me try to move it a little bit to the center. I'm going to move it a little bit also to the right. I am trying to move this a little bit to the center. So let's see. Okay, here you go. So you have two different techniques. One was with the funnel, and let me show you the difference. Of course, the other one is more like in the middle. The composition is more in the center and going out, as you can see here. And this was more to let these big cells out. I really like how it looks. I may push this because I think it's too black in here. I may push that color a little bit out, a little bit more. As I said, I am learning. So maybe next time I will put a little bit less of that LASIK mix, or actually maybe I will try without the LASIK mixed. I like this design in here. It's really cool. So here you have it, and try it. This was the first time that I tried this technique and it's not bad. So maybe next time I will not do the LASIK with this technique. I may do only the colors directly and see how it goes, and I will try over and over until I get something that I really like. This I really like, the other I also like. So I am happy with the result. So thank you so much for being in my channel. I love painting with you, and I love painting to relax and disconnect. Hopefully you join me. If you have never seen me here, subscribe to my channel and let's have fun together. See you next time.